What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I have a video here by Megan Moon again, and yes, this is a pretty good one here. Her innocent online post led to divorce, so we're gonna have to see how this is going to play out. So let's listen in on the story. And yeah, I'm watching part of this blind, so I'm kind of waiting to see how the story is gonna turn out. So let's get into it.
Now, you might think it's something like a PC room. It's a place that has computers and you go and sit and hang out there and have coffee. But in Korea, they call cafes online community. So for example, Mom Cafe is an online community for moms. I'm actually a part of a Pokemon Go cafe because I'm obsessed. Internet cafes are great ways for people to connect and build community surrounding certain topics or hobbies. But in some cases, people use cafes in order to complain about things that are happening in their life and to gain support in that way, which I think is also okay and sometimes needed, but you got to be careful what you post online because it could come back and bite you in the butt and you could possibly, lose your marriage. Let it bounce. Okay, so while I am all for online communities and I think they can be great things, I do think when it comes to interpersonal relationships, things with your spouse, that you kind of have to talk with them about those things. I think if you need advice about certain things, it's okay to maybe ask for advice. But when you just want to go on there to sort of vent about your spouse, it may or may not be the best thing to do, especially if your partner finds out and there are things that you're talking and sharing with strangers online that you haven't even talked to your partner about, which is what happened in these two stories that I'm going to share today. I will say this episode is rated PG-15 because we will, in the first story, be talking about the marital bed. Get your children out of here. I mean, I'm not.
Okay, so here you go, the marital bed. I did actually listen to the first story. I didn't listen to the second one, but yeah, the first one, yeah, it's pretty good.
A very explicit person, so I'm not going to be using explicit language, but still, just giving you a warning. So the first story was submitted by someone named Hanner. That's not her real name. She didn't say her name, but Hanner is my favorite Korean name, so Hanner. And Hanner has the perfect marriage. She loves her husband. He's so sweet. However, there is just one issue. Something that's very hard for her to overcome, and that is the fact that her husband's sex drive is voracious. Every day, she said he needs morning and evening at least, right? So that's the bare minimum, in the morning upon waking and evening before bed, at least. But sometimes during those sessions, he wants to go again. And sometimes he might do 2 or 3 times in a row at either one of these sessions every single day. I'm sure, at first she thought, it's great. My husband loves me, can't keep his hands off me, but every day is like too much for her. Hanner actually owns a bakery that she works at, and sometimes she'll get up early in the morning to go and prepare bread, leavening bread.
This is the aircraft carrier shelter you seized. Previously owned
Hopefully they're not doing it at this nasty shelter.
I don't know. I make bread at home, but I don't know the proper terminology. But anyway, she's preparing stuff early in the morning in the bakery, and her husband will pop up and be like, hey, wanna, here in the bakery? In the morning, that's when my sex drive is the most voracious, he would say. So they would do it in the bakery quite often, but it was too much for her. Like, she would oftentimes complain with her friends, but her friends didn't really understand. They would say stuff like, 그래도 안 하는 남편보다 자주 하는 남편이 더 낫지 않아? Don't you think it's better to at least have a husband who wants you a lot versus one who doesn't want you at all? In Korea, most women go online and go to Mom Cafe on these online mom communities. Everybody's complaining that they're sexless. So I talked about it in a video before, but Korea is the highest in terms of sexless marriages, at least out of all the other OECD nations. If you want to know more about that, I'll link the video that is in down below. There's a lot of possible reasons why, but that is seemingly an issue in the society. So most people complain that their husbands don't want them enough. But still, Hanner is like, girl, I cannot take it anymore. So Hanner decided to join a mom cafe, a mom online community. And she posted, 남편 성욕 줄이는 방법은 없을까요? Is there a way to lower my husband's sex drive at all? Other moms are like, what? Is it even possible to do so much? Some of them were like, 우리 1년에 한두 번밖에 안 하는데 we only do it like maybe once or twice a year. 너무 부럽다.
I'm like, damn, woman, enjoy that. Because, what is it, homeboy sex drive, when the older he gets, it's not going to be there. I say enjoy it while you can.
So jealous of you. But anyway, in the mom cafe, some women suggested changing the food. Some women even suggested some sort of old traditional Korean medicine that she like sprinkle in the food secretly. Roofie his food girl with some medicine that lowers sex drive without his knowledge, which I have a problem with that. Like, you would rather secretly put some medicine in your husband's food, which I think is a big no-no, than like just sit down and talk with him and say, look, instead of 2 times a day, morning and evening, let's just choose one, morning or evening. But anyway, she tried all the suggestions that the people in the mom cafe gave her, but none of them worked. So she continually grew more and more frustrated and just kept posting on the mom cafe. We just did it 3 times in a row. None of the suggestions you guys gave me are working. But one of the women in the mom cafe was like, wait, why don't you suggest working out at the gym? And make sure he has a good long workout, okay? Just a short workout could actually increase his sex drive, but make sure he works out till he's like dead about to pass out. And then when he gets home after work, he's definitely not going to want to do it. And the next day in the bakery in the morning, when Holler just opened the doors, somebody walked in. It was a new face who she's never seen at the bakery before. It was a woman. She was wearing her workout clothes and she came in and said, hey, I just passed by and saw the name of the cafe and I thought I would come in. You're the woman who owns this cafe, right? And Holler was like, yes. So then she was like, oh, you're on the mom cafe, right? Hunter was like, yes. So this woman came in her workout clothes and they were just sort of talking. And Hunter was like, oh, what gym do you go to? Is your gym nearby? She said, yes. She got the gym information from the girl. And then after work at her cafe, she went to the gym, signed up her husband, got him a trainer and told the trainer, hey, you better make sure that you work him out till he passes out. And the trainer said, got it. So the next day, the husband started going to the gym and then the wife noticed he slowly started waning with his sex drive. Like it dropped down to once a day and she was elated. Only once a day? Oh my God, thank you. Then it went down to maybe once every other day. Even more excited. Yes, thank you. But after a couple weeks had passed, she was meeting one of her friends at a cafe, a physical cafe. And she told her friend, oh my God, I started sending him to the gym and it's been 2 weeks since we've had sex. Girl, that man has not slept with you in 2 weeks. 바람핀 거 아니야? You sure he's not cheating? No, he's not cheating. He's not that type of person. Of course. So that night when they were getting ready for bed, she put on her most beautiful black lingerie and she goes up to her husband like, hey, it's been a while. And the husband's like, nope, gotta sleep. So she was suspicious, like, is he cheating? Because you don't suddenly go from like 2 to 3 times a day to like nothing, right? Okay, not all the workout in the world would suddenly make a drop off like that. So after he was asleep, she went through his phone and girl, she found some text messages. 밤에 헬스장 와? Are you coming to the gym tonight? 밤 운동 꿀. Let's have a night workout session. 아침 운동 꿀. Morning workout session? Okay. 내일 아침 운동 콜. Tomorrow morning workout session? Great. She doesn't know who the girl is, but she's like, wait a minute. This is not his trainer's number or name. So she went and looked in his wallet, and in his wallet, there were several condoms. So the next morning when he was going to the gym, she followed him and he went to this house. Rings the doorbell. A woman answers. She doesn't see the woman's face, but she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go confront them right now. She went and rang the doorbell. Ding dong. Woman comes and opened the door. She's wearing a beautiful, tight dress. And who is it? The woman from the mom cafe that came to her bakery to recommend the gym to her husband. You. 대체 왜 당신이? Why is it you? And then she storms into the house and her husband's already changed his clothes, waiting and ready for the loving he's about to receive. What are you doing? Yobo, sweetheart. So Hunter asked the woman, like the harlot, why did you do that? And so the woman goes on to tell us, because I saw your post and I was pissed. My husband doesn't want to sleep with me at all. And then you're online complaining that your husband wants you too much. I also posted once before about my husband, but it was the opposite problem. 남편 성욕 살리는 방법 없나? Is there any way to increase my husband's sex drive? I tried to do everything that those women suggested in the forum and nothing worked. You don't know how hard it is to live with a man who is not sexually interested in you at all. You don't know how lucky you have it. So I made sure to send him to the gym and approach him. 차라리 밖에서 불고 왔으면 좋겠다고. You said that you would rather.
Ooh, ha, ha. yeah, you need to enjoy it. Just to keep this family oriented, you need to empty his basketballs. That's how I'll keep it friendly. Empty his basketballs.
Him go outside and cheat on you and fulfill his sexual desires outside of the home so he doesn't bother you inside. Oh, so you're cheating with my husband for me? Is that it? But then the husband chimed in and he was like, okay, you know what? I wasn't planning on cheating at first, but all those posts that you posted online, that's how paso. I saw them all. Oh, when my husband just passes me and he touches me a little bit, I feel so disgusted. He's not thinking of me. He just thinks of his own desires. You're making me out to be some kind of animal. Like you're so disgusted at the thought of sleeping with me several times in a row. Excuse me for just desiring my wife. You even put medicine in my food. I just needed a place to vent to. It's difficult for me. Anyway, do what you want. You can sue me, whatever. I'm just glad that I have a chance to be the man whose sexual desire matches mine. Do what you want. I've already gotten a divorce from my husband because I can no longer live like that. So then over the next few weeks at home, Holler actually tried with her husband. Like every day she would wear some lingerie and be like, hey, let's do it. Let's do it. But then the husband was like, I can't with you, because to see all those disgusting things that you said about me and made me out to be some like disgusting person who just wants his wife. Like I can't trust you anymore, which to be honest, I would be very upset. Like if there was something that was bothering my husband that he didn't talk to me about, but told a bunch of people online, and not just complaining and saying it's difficult, but actually saying you feel disgusted when they touch you. Like I can totally understand why he's upset. Now, should he be cheating? Definitely not. Like that's, again, he should have went and talked to her. Hey, I see that you wrote this. Do you really feel this way? You don't have to just go and cheat. But at the same time, I do understand why you would be really upset and the trust would be broken. Because at the same time, it's like, if you can't come and talk to me about that, then do we even have a relationship really? So he was just like, Danya, 차라리 이혼해. Let's just get a divorce. This is not working. Okay, I can't trust you no more. That's it. And that is how betrayed someone can feel if you're going behind their back and posting crap online. But definitely, people, please just talk to your partner. Work something out. Both of them are in the wrong, but definitely, I think maybe this relationship was not for them. Also, he is a bit excessive. That is a bit much. But I definitely think having differences in how much you want to have marital relations could cause a lot of issues in a relationship. Recently on Ihon Sungyo Camp, which is a reality show where they take married couples who are having issues and they have them sat before like sort of a judge type person, and then they go and work out the issues that they have in the marriage. Recently, there was a guy who also wanted twice a day, but then the wife just wanted once a week. So they had to sit down in front of the judge and then like figure it out. It can be a big issue, but definitely talk about it in person. Okay. Don't be going online and don't be cheating behind your partner's back. Okay. Thank you. So on a quicker and lighter note, it's not just women who are online posting about their partners. Also men do it too. So in this next story, it was on JTBC's Sakwon Panjang. It was posted by someone, we don't know her name. Let's just call her Mrs. Kim. So
Okay. And most of the times, why go online? It's for internet is forever. Just like, me doing these videos is forever. So, it's a consequences. Like if, I say something, even if it's not okay, I have to face the consequences. Jeez. So let's see.
Mrs. Kim has been married for 2 years. She loves her husband. He's absolutely great. He's very, very 착해, very nice, but he does have one problem. He is too damn 소심해, too timid. For example, one time Mrs. Kim and her husband, Mr. Kim, were in line to get on the subway. Subway stations can get very crazy. Like you have to stand in line to get on the train. And sometimes the train is so full that you have to stand in line a couple times and a couple trains have to pass before you can get in. So apparently they were waiting in line during a busy time. And this man just came and cut right in front of Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim ain't no wimp. So she was like, sir, 왜 새치기 하세요? And so she was just sort of fighting with the man like, hey, sir, you need to get back in line. So the husband just sort of stepped away. And then after she finished yelling with the man and then the man went away, then the husband just sort of popped up again and then pretended like he didn't know what happened. Like, oh, did something happen? 무슨 일 있었어? So stuff like that. Like if there was ever a confrontation that needed to be had, he was not there. Ooh. I could not deal with that because to me, I need a man who's able to confront people when it needs to happen. And thankfully, that's who Mr. Moon is. And he's very big for like a Korean man. So other men don't mess with him. And that's how I like it. Okay. He got that face and he's like kind of big.
지금 주변에서 만약에 저한테 나 백수인데 아무것도 없는데 뭘로 돈 벌 수 있어라고 하면 제가 장담하고 하나 추천.
Order.
He just be walking around like this with his short haircut. He is scary to Korean people, and that's how I like my men, okay? But to not actually be scary and have like a nice soft heart and want to like protect your group of people, like that's the perfect man. But anyway, back to Mrs. Kim. One day, Mrs. Kim was cleaning the house and her husband's computer was on, and it was on this online cafe, okay? What she saw there shocked her. She was jaw on the floor. The stuff that her husband was posting was crazy. So she sat down, she read every post. There was like over 300 posts. Yeah, they've only been married for 2 years. So that's like a post every other day or so, right? Oh my God, my wife's hair is all over the bathroom floor. So nasty. Ugh, my wife tried to kiss me this morning, but her breath was so rank. I was so disgusted. Gross. Just stuff like that. And she said, the most irritating thing is that in the morning, he's the one who initiates the kisses. Yeah. But then also it's like everybody's breath is subpar in the morning. So like, I'm sure his breath also is rank too. And breath being stank in the morning is like a thing that happens to humans. It's not like it's something that never happens to anyone and it's just a her problem. Like most people in the morning don't have fresh breath. He was not only talking crap about his wife, but about her parents too. And he referred to her mom on the post as 경기도에서 사는 아줌마. The ajima, or the middle-aged or married woman who lives in Gyeonggi-do, which is the province right around Seoul. So Seoul is here, and then all around Seoul, the province is Gyeonggi-do. I live in Paju, which is Gyeonggi-do. I am a 경기도에서 사는 아줌마. What's wrong with ajumas living in Gyeonggi-do? But anyway, that's how he referred to the mom on the website. And he was saying like, her side dishes are so gross. 내가 직접 끓인 라면이 더 맛있어. The ramen that I make at home tastes better than her side dishes. Ooh, don't you ever disrespect Korean moms cooking.
Dude, and this is the effort that we deal with. It's like, talk about it, man. Don't go there and be timid and just vent. Jesus.
Okay. As you know, Korean mom-in-laws will always cook and bring like side dishes to the house for the kids. So I guess she had been doing that for years and he had been eating it for years. Never complained about it once to his wife that he didn't like the food. He ate it deliciously. So what is this two-face going on? To me, it seems a little bit immature. Like that's just stuff that everybody deals with, right? You have hair, you go to the bathroom, it's going to get on the floor. You got to wipe it up. If there's too much hair on the floor, hey babe, can you wipe up your hair more often? But also Mrs. Kim said a thing that was more shocking was the replies were all like, 와이프 욕하니까 속 시원하겠다. Since you're on here talking trash about your wife, I'm sure you feel so much better now. And everybody's just sort of agreeing with them, hyping them up. This is when I think communities are not that helpful. Obviously in the previous Mom Cafe, it also was not that helpful because not a one person said, hey, how about you talk to your husband about it? But basically in this particular cafe, I guess it was just men talking crap about their wives. If I found something like that, I would be livid, honey. Like, why don't you just talk to me about these things? Or if you can't talk to me, I'm gonna give you a piece of paper or a notebook. And every time something uncomfortable happens, you write in that notebook and I will go check the notebook. Something, you know? But that is why I think being too nice is a red flag. Anybody who agrees with everything that you say, never stirs up any trouble, that you've never gotten in a fight with, probably that's not somebody you want to marry, because it's not that they just don't have any standard for anything. It's that they're just keeping it inside and eventually it will be exposed. Everybody has stuff that bothers them that they need to talk about. So if you are with somebody and they have never spoken up to you, never disagreed with anything you've said, then that could potentially be your problem. Maybe there are some unicorns out there who really just don't care about anything. But in general, if someone doesn't care about anything, then it's probably not somebody you could have a deep relationship with anyway, right? But Mrs. Kim calls up her husband, Mr. Kim, right away because she is pissed. Oh, accidentally clicked on someone. 당신 당장 집으로 쳐들어와. You better get your butt home right now. But the husband was so scared that he hung up the phone. He turned off his phone and just went and slept like at a hotel or something like that. Yeah. The next morning he called. 자기야, 아직도 화났어? Babe, are you still angry? Like, oh my God. Do you not realize that if you turn off your phone and go stay somewhere for the night and then just call in the morning, that's going to make your wife even more pissed? You turned off.
Holy moly. It's like, Jesus, what's up with guys? It's like, damn, just talk about it and then get it over with. My goodness.
Off the phone, escaped somewhere, wherever it is, and then just call in the morning to check if she's still angry. Like that would make me even more angry. Like the blood boiling that was level 100 has now gone to like level 1,000. So on
Yeah,
the phone, they
great.
talked about it. He didn't even want to talk about it in person. Just on the phone, he was like, I just needed some people to vent about. It just makes me feel better. So that's why I was doing it. But I promise I'll delete my account and I won't ever do it again. And so Mrs. Kim was just like, okay, well, he is so timid and he can't talk to people about things. So I'll forgive him this time as long as he doesn't, keep doing it. But the level of respect that she has for him dropped tremendously, and the amount of love dropped tremendously as well. A month later, the wife saw him like texting a lot, but the look on his face, he must be back on that forum. So when he went to sleep, she took his thumb, put it on the phone to unlock it, and checked. And what do you think he had been doing? About a week prior, he had started reposting on that venting about your wife forum. But this time the post was insane.
Oh,
he said,
my
"우리
God.
와이프가 바람피는 것 같아. I think my wife is cheating on me." And in this post, he went on to disclose her work location, who he thinks she's cheating with, and asked people in the comments if they find out any information to let him know. He disclosed where she works and disclosed enough details that people could actually figure out who she was. The thing about certain cafes is they tend to be associated with certain regions. So the Pokemon Go cafe that I'm in is for people who all live in my little area in Paju. So it's very likely that some of the people in that group know even of that place of business where the wife works. So the wife was like, at this point, like, okay, we got to end it. So she's like, sir, we have got to end this. Like, please, let's get a divorce. But the husband apparently doesn't understand what's wrong. He's like, what's wrong? Sometimes your mom will say stuff about your dad, that she doesn't like. Like, I'm just saying stuff that I'm venting about. Like, what's the problem? Nobody's getting hurt.
Just don't put it online. Jesus, this dude. Yo, talk amongst your friends, but don't put it online like internet's forever.
She even told her mom about it. So her mom called the husband and was like, hey, this is the ajumma that lives in Gyeonggi-do. 우리 반찬 맛 없다고. You don't like the side dishes that I'm making for you? Well, why are you getting so fat then? Then the husband was like, I was already getting fat before you started making us food. I get out with these people. But anyway, so the wife was asking if she could sue for defamation, because in Korea, if you say something that someone did, even if it's true. So let's say at your work office, two people are cheating. There is evidence of it, like it's a very true thing. Let's say because of it, one of the parties got divorced or whatever. So it was evidence, it put into court, like everybody knows this person cheated, but people at the workplace might not know. And you go and disclose it to people at the workplace, they can still sue you for defamation. You have to pay thousands of dollars. So in Korea, defamation is not based on whether or not the information is true or not, like what it is for us. It was information they didn't want people to know that got disclosed. But the lawyer on the news who sort of responded to this situation said, in this case, because he didn't.
Yeah, and another thing is, if you're gonna sue, you better put up the money for the attorney too, and that's a couple thousand too. So a lot of the times, a lot of people won't go through with it, but if this is maybe the the last response situation, yeah, they might go through with it. It just depends how much money they're willing to spend.
Say her name is blah blah, then you can't really do the defamation lawsuit anyway. But some of the things that people are saying in the comments about why maybe this person did what they did, one of the biggest things, which I agree with too, is that this person just wants the online validation. It seems like in real life they can't really share the things that are on their heart and mind. So when they're getting this sort of online validation and emotional validation online, it's sort of addicting to them. They can't really stop doing it. One thing about these people is they only like to share positive stuff with people and not negative stuff. What I mean is, like, you can bond with people when you share positive stuff, like, oh, this good thing happened to me today, or I really like this, or I like this. But you really bond with people and feel emotionally connected when you share things that are troubling you and you receive sort of emotional support from that person. But that seems to be what really strengthens relationships, right? But those kind of people, because they can't do that, they sort of fear sharing negative things or fear sharing in person what they really think. They don't really get that emotional connection. So it seems like this guy feels really emotionally connected to that, like, online cafe that he's a part of. Because when you really look at his complaints, they're not really complaints. He doesn't really have anything to complain about. My mother-in-law's side dishes are not that good. Okay, well, when she leaves, put some extra salt on it. I don't know. Unfortunately, that is not the kind of person you could have a long-term relationship with or like truly connect with anyway. But then some of the other people in comments were like, this person needs therapy, which I agree with. Like, if you can't confront people even in the slightest way, then I think obviously there's some issues issues going on and you got a lot of trauma. But anyway, these marriages were both ended due to online forums and people's lack of communication. Let's all communicate together, share what you need to share, and work it out together. Because going behind somebody's back will only ensure that when things do come to light, that it will be 1,000 times bigger than it would have been if you just went and told them in the first place. So make sure you don't miss out on the skincare routine.
Yep. Shout out to Megan Moon. Yep. And yeah, I would just say talk about it. You know, that's what I would say. And then if she doesn't want to talk about it, okay. And then after a while, you're like, all right, time to roll out. So yeah, it's crazy. All right. So if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.